well known in Tower Hamlets, a teachers' union, Alex Kenny at the NUT. Please, Alex.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks to everyone for coming out tonight for what I think is a very important meeting and what I hope will be the start of a campaign to defend Tower Hamlets and to defend our community. We've been going around giving out copies of a manifesto for education that's been written by the NUT that we want to talk to people about between now and the general election, and some of the things that I want to talk about are referred to in this manifesto, so please do take the time to read it and talk to us about it. Now, finance and finance procurement are not my area of expertise. They're not a particular interest of mine, I'll have to be honest, and I know very little about the PricewaterhouseCoopers report and the allegations that are being made against Lutfur, and I'm sure other speakers will deal with them in detail and explain to them what it's about and why the PricewaterhouseCoopers report is wrong, or why Pickles is wrong. But I will tell you this, my line is this: we have nothing to learn about democracy, accountability or transparency from Eric Pickles and his cronies in Westminster. I deal with education, that's the area I work in, and I'll give you 3 facts that underline the importance of what I've just said. In 2010, one of the first things Michael Gove did when he came to office was to give £500,000 to a friend of his called Rachel Wolfe, who had just set up an organisation called New Schools Network. And the aim of that organisation was to go and set up free schools where they weren't needed and where councils didn't want them. He did that without procurement, he did that without any transparency at all. This is a government that sees nothing wrong with Ofsted inspectors failing schools and then going back to those schools to act as brokers for academy sponsors to turn them into academies. This is a government that gives £45 million to the owner of Harris Carpets to set up a sixth form college in Westminster, a selective sixth form college, when we've got loads of successful sixth form colleges in London, many of whom are having their budgets cut. So this is a government that knows about lack of democracy, that knows about lack of accountability, that knows about lack of transparency, because it's exercising it all the time. Now, Eric Pickles says that our council is broken. Well, I'll tell you from where we stand, it isn't. Education in Tower Hamlets is one of the big success stories. It's one of the most successful local authorities in the country, and that is a thorn in this government's side, because we've done it. We've done it by keeping our schools together. Lutfur's done it, and Lutfur's council have done it by resisting the spread of academies and the spread of free schools, by trying to keep our schools together. I want to finish by placing on record some of the things Lutfur's done for the children and for education in Tower Hamlets. Keeping our schools together, making sure they're successful and that many of our children overcome the financial disadvantage that they overcome their financial disadvantage that some of them find themselves in. But Lutfur has not only just done that, he's spoken up against anti-austerity and he's put his money where his mouth is. He's reinstated the education maintenance allowance for our young people that this government tore away from them. He's expanded the free school meals programme to make sure that our youngest and most vulnerable children do have access to a proper free school meal when the government won't do that. And as I say, his council have resisted the spread of academies. And I want to place on record my thanks to Lutfur for when nearly 2,000 of our members have taken strike action on several times in the last year against this government's attack on our pay, on our workload, on our conditions. At every turn, Lutfur has sent us a message of support, saying that he supports our strike action, saying that what the government is doing to workers, what the government is doing to teachers is wrong. Now, there aren't many council leaders that would put themselves above the parapet like that, so we thank Lutfur for that. So, I want to finish by saying I don't live in Tower Hamlets. I didn't have a vote in the election where Lutfur was elected. But for me, this isn't about whether you support Lutfur as an individual. It isn't about whether you voted for Lutfur in the election. This is about Tower Hamlets. This is about our community and our right to determine who represents us. And in that respect, I hope everyone in this room and those that aren't yet in this room and part of this campaign will join us in sending that message to Pickles and his cronies. Pickles, who spent £60,000 of our money on biscuits in the last year. We send the message loud and clear, and I hope it will be echoed tonight, to Eric Pickles, to David Cameron, and all their cronies in Westminster. Hands off Tower Hamlets, it's our community, we will decide.